We're doing something a little weird today. I mean, we're gonna do a combination that most people, I don't think about when they think about wine. We're gonna do a red wine
True.
on a hot day.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little
I think that's
strange,
fair.
right? I mean, I love red wine, so on a hot day, I would love an excuse to go for a red wine. But it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird combo.
I've been thinking a lot about when we were talking to Jim Duane, and he was talking about how there's a red wine for every occasion. But I think it's good that we're shining a light on a red wine that is really built for, drinking on a hot day, something that's kind of like refreshing and nice. So no, I think this is gonna be good.
I'd love to see a red wine in our porch pounder category. We haven't seen that yet. So
Whew, weird combinations can be good. Can you think of any other weird combinations of things? Red wine on a hot summer day. I tell you, when I was a kid, I used to love graham crackers sandwich with butter in between the two. Just
Ooh,
graham cracker and butter.
I have
so
not heard of that.
you would just slather some butter in between two graham crackers and call it a day?
Yeah, thinking back, I think I was like a very small, underweight child, and my mother was trying to trick me into a snack to help me, pack some weight on. But I remember loving it. Just I'd have a little baggie with a graham cracker and butter sandwiches.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna put that straight on my do not try list.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's something I never thought about, but neither of those things don't sound good. And together, I don't see it being a thing that would be too bad. I'd give it a go.
Yuck
No,
my
I guess.
yum, Colin.
Yeah.
Speaking of red wine and interesting combinations, have you guys ever tried the Italian red wine and Coke?
So,
I
what
think
is
it's
this?
Like
Tell me
like
about this.
like poured into a glass together?
yes, you have red wine and you pour the Coke in with the red wine. I've seen it once live. I was with this older Italian
What?
gentleman, and he ordered a glass of
Wait,
Chianti
I have
and a
so many
Coke,
questions.
and he poured them together. And he said it was like a thing that they just always kind of had growing up. I didn't really dive too deep into it because it looked and sounded repulsive.
Yeah.
But it's
Only
Well, did
one
you
way to
try
find
it?
out.
no, I didn't. I didn't try it. I was terrified.
I am
Uh,
looking forward to our future Chianti and Coke and graham cracker and butter episode.
I'd try anything once. Yeah. Ugh. Hey, you know what? Actually, when you were talking about Aaron, when you're a kid and things that your mom was giving you, it made me think of something that I have looked back on a couple of times in my childhood that I wonder why the heck this was the situation. But did your parents make you like basically have milk with dinner? It was like, oh, you can have water or milk.
I mean, I used to just drink gallons and gallons of milk. Like,
Gallons and gallons of milk?
I love milk.
well,
With meals. With meals.
With every I would have milk with every
Oh my God.
meal.
My
That is the
stomach is turning
dairy
thinking about it.
industry spent millions of dollars to convince us we need to
Yeah.
have milk with every meal, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Ugh,
just
why?
the Ladniski house was bought in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Come to think of it, yeah, our house was sponsored by milk. So that's interesting. Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review...
A red wine from France.
I am Joel, and of course, as always, I'm joined by the amazing Aaron and Colin. How are you guys today?
I'm doing all right.
yeah, a little sad we're not together like we were last week, but I mean, it's still exciting to be here. Just not as exciting that we're not together.
Yeah.
I can't physically.
Happy to drink wine
Yeah.
alone in my basement.
That is a lot sadder than what we had going on last week, isn't it? Oh my gosh. It was so much fun being together last week, though, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun.
I didn't realize how much fun it was going to be. Like, I knew it was
Yeah.
going to be a good experience, but they did such a good job at the Podcast Doctor, and like that was such a fun little studio to sit in. Oh man,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
I
to
want
move to
that back.
Orlando.
I want that every week.
It was
I want that
nice.
every
I
week,
know.
Aaron. You have to move down here now.
Yeah.
I know. It was so
The
cool.
rest of this podcast is going to be Colin and I pitching you on moving to Orlando.
The
Here
city
we
beautiful.
go. Yeah.
City Beautiful, that's right, come on down. We got
Have you
UCF, you
tried
could
our
go to
pizza?
every home
That's
game.
true.
We have
Oh,
all the theme parks. It's
Theme parks.
only miserably hot for 4 months out of the year.
And then the winters here, my gosh, just great. Great times.
Delightful,
beautiful.
Feels so good.
Yeah.
delightful.
Get me on the theme parks, get me on UCF. Trying to pitch me the pizza, probably not gonna work. I
We
live in Jersey, but,
have
like,
oh, yeah.
you have pizza.
Bad choice. Oh.
We
You
do
do
have
have something that resembles pizza down there. But look,
You
hey,
have you
we'll figure it
seen
out.
our skyscrapers? Because boy, oh
Oh.
boy, they are not that tall. Oh no, but it was good. I look
Hey.
forward to doing that again in the future. But I will tell you too, it is nice to be able to do this again without wearing pants. So I will take that.
Hey, there
That's
we
very
go.
nice.
Way
Back
more
to the way
comfortable
things
right now.
naturally are. That's exactly right. Yeah, a little more free. But you know what? I am excited for today's show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, we are exploring a new region together, going into a place we haven't been. So looking forward to that. We mentioned up front that this is going to be a red wine from France. Aaron, could you tell us a little bit more about this wine that we're having today?
I would love to, because it's not just a red wine from France today. It is
Mhm.
a red wine that is meant to be chilled. It's a
Ooh,
time that we,
it's
bring our
chill.
worlds together, and we
Mm.
have a nice chilled red wine to go in the summertime. So this wine comes to us from the producer Jean-Claude Debeaune. It is their special selection from 2021. It's a Gamay from Beaujolais-Village, and this is a 12.5% ABV that we got at Total Wine for right about $20.
I like that low ABV, kind of fits with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
chilled wine. I like that. You could have a
Yeah,
couple
it's
Yeah.
of
a
these.
red, but
Mhm.
it's a little bit lower. It's gonna be chilled. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's get crazy.
Let's get a little wild. Colin,
Let's get a little wild.
can you help me with something though? Because my brain is trying to equate a Beaujolais to Thanksgiving and fall right now, right off the bat after hearing that. Is that a mistake? Have I been programmed to think that? What's going on?
Mm,
Yeah, so we are gonna learn a little bit more about that, but in
Okay.
general, yeah, I think you're thinking Beaujolais Nouveau, which
Oh,
comes out.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of November, and usually Beaujolais, because it's light and refreshing, and usually you're eating turkey on Thanksgiving, you want a lighter
Yeah.
wine, you don't necessarily want a cab or something like that. Beaujolais and Gamay is oftentimes recommended as a good turkey wine.
Hmm.
So, that's usually why I
Okay.
see it, and then that with the release of the Beaujolais Nouveau, which we're gonna learn about here in a little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh, okay, good. Well, save that. I don't want to take the wind out of your sails. At least I know I'm not crazy for making that connection in my head, but it sounds like there's some separations and some differences in there. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about that. Hey, what do you guys think before we get into learning about Beaujolais though? Do you want to play a little PiNope or Chardonnay? It's
Oh, I
been a
think we
minute.
Chardonnay.
could.
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
Chardonnay.
Who wants to kick us off?
I can kick us off. I got one. I got one for
Do
you.
it.
Ready? I'm
Hit
thinking
me.
about this one. All
Yes.
right, this is a controversial one. We're gonna have to post this one to the internet.
Okay.
PiNope or Chardonnay?
Uh-huh.
You bring a nice bottle of wine or a bottle of liquor or
Mm-hmm.
case of beer to a party.
Mm-hmm.
You know the host does not really partake or appreciate that. So they're not a wine drinker or they're not a bourbon drinker, whatever you brought.
Okay.
Party ends, it
Yeah.
is still there.
Oh,
Pinot or
this is a good
Chardonnay, you
one.
take it home with you.
This is a good one.
Oh,
I've
that's a
thought about
really
this
good
a lot. Yeah.
That's a really good one. I've never really thought about this. Joel, you wanna kick us off since I feel like you have an answer? I might need a
Oh,
second to think about this.
man. I sort of do, but in typical Joel fashion, I want to put some guardrails and some qualifiers around this because I think if it is a friend's house, like if I was going over to Colin's or vice versa, Colin was coming over here, I would say Chardonnay, bring what you brought over that's left over home, 100%. But if you're going to, it's an acquaintance or something, or it's more of an actual dinner party, something like that, PiNope for bringing it home, because in that case, it's more of a gift. I think, maybe they're going to open it with dinner or whatever, but it's more of a gift. So that's the qualifier. But if you're a buddy of mine and you come over and there's stuff left over at the end of the night, take it home, man. I don't need your beer hanging around in my fridge. Thanks for bringing it. We enjoyed it. Take it home.
Yeah, I think if you know they don't enjoy it and it's going to be
Hmm.
a waste and it's something that you can enjoy again, like if you bring a bottle of wine and you open it and there's like a glass left, I'm gonna leave that, of course, because I'm not gonna take a
Hmm.
3/4 drink bottle
Hmm.
of wine. But if it's something like a bottle of bourbon, you went out and spent some good money on something like that, and he's just never gonna drink it, well, then I'm not gonna leave it because that's gonna be a waste. So I'm gonna do whichever one is you know, I don't know if it was Pinot or Chardonnay to taking it, but
ChardonYay to taking it home.
Chardonnay to taking it home is what I would say, but it's all very situational.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm a Chardonnay for taking it home if it's like a big party and there's a ton of stuff there,
Yeah.
and you know the host, and you're like, I'm not gonna leave this dollar bottle of bourbon that I brought over for people to enjoy. It barely got touched, and I know the host isn't gonna drink it. Or I brought over this nice bottle of wine. I know the host isn't a big wine person, and it didn't get touched, it didn't get opened.
Yeah.
Like, because I have been to parties before where I brought, like, nice beer or something, and I've gone and
Yeah.
visited my friend a month later, and I spy my beer in the back of their fridge still, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's a
Yeah.
fucking waste of a good beer right there." So,
For
Chardonnay
sure.
to bringing it home.
I have a Pinot and Chardonnay too. So oftentimes, if you're going to have some wine in the morning, it's usually sparkling wine in
Mm.
a mimosa or something like that. You're not
Mm.
usually
Sure.
drinking wine in the morning, but if you do, it's usually something light and
Speak for
refreshing.
yourself. Uh-huh.
So Pinot
It is
or
almost
Chardonnay,
football season, by the way. There's going to be a little more morning wine drinking going
that's
on.
true. That's true.
Tailgating, go
Pinot
on.
or Chardonnay, a big bold red wine in the morning instead of that more light, refreshing sparkling.
Ugh. Once again, my stomach churned. That's a Pinot here.
Yeah. I'm gonna say PiNope only because I feel like drinking in the morning is situational, hopefully, and not like a habit for me. And so if I'm drinking like a red wine in the morning, like I can't think of the situation where it's like I'm opening this caps off and I'm gonna just pour this like big red right now. It's like no, I'm at a brunch or I'm in the
Yeah.
Delta Sky Lounge and I can drink a mimosa. What about you, Colin?
100%.
Yeah. As I was thinking about this, I'm having a hard time thinking of situationally where a big bold red wine in the morning makes sense, and I can't think of one. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe if you're like it's in the middle of winter, I don't. But even then, it just sounds like the last thing I want is a big bold tannic experience in the morning. So it's a Pinot for me.
Yeah.
I feel like if you open a big bold red in the morning, immediately like a big fluffy like nightgown appears on you and you're a 60-year-old divorcee. Like it just
Mm.
happens magically. Like you open it up and you
Yeah.
walk out of your room and you're like, "Oh, I'm 30 years older than I used to be, and I don't
That
know
is
how
how
this
it
happened."
happens. That is.
There's cats everywhere. I don't know where the
Science.
Mm.
cats came from, but suddenly there's cats.
Yeah, no, that is how it happens. Yep, you're right.
Ex-
All right, I have one for you here too, and I need to ask this one because I need your help because we are going to a concert for the first time in a long time. A little bit tougher to get to them these days with the kiddo at home, but we've got a big one coming up here. So I've kind of been in that mode. I'm getting ready to go back in there. So I want to pose this question to you. What do you think about wine at a concert? And I'm not talking about a big arena, you're sitting in a seat or anything like that. I'm talking about you're on a floor, general admission floor, no seats, wine
God.
in that sort of environment. What do you think?
Dixie cup of
Yes.
wine.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because let me be very clear on this. I'm not talking about a can of wine that is meant to be transportable, as we've talked about our tailgate wines, things like that. I am talking about they have a dusty bottle of wine and they're going to pour it into
Yeah.
a plastic cup for you to walk around the floor.
Yeah, it seems like a hard Pinot for me. I can't just thinking about concerts I've been to, beer is my go-to at a concert. So wine just sounds so unappealing in that setting when you're
Yeah, it's true.
surrounded by like other sweaty people and you're just like trying to make your way through or you get a good spot. I can't imagine that would be that enjoyable. So I'm gonna Pinot
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a double PiNope for me because it's like PiNope because I don't trust wine at big venues or pubs
Fair
or
That's a
like
point.
good
places
point
that
too.
don't,
Yeah.
Fair point.
places that don't have like people that are being picky about their wine just walking over like, "Do you have any reds?" Like it's just not,
Totally fair.
and then the aesthetic of moving through a crowd holding a Pinot Grigio and a red wine,
It's
Pinot
also
Noir.
kind of a silly look. Yeah, you know what? I was gonna be totally Chardonnay, but now that I pictured myself doing that, I'm pinoping that, and I'm going with the bruise. Why mess with a good thing? It's worked
For
for
sure.
many years. Okay.
It's like, man, what was a rough concert? You got blood all over your
Yeah.
shirt. Were you in the mosh pit? It's like, no, that was the Merlot.
Yeah. Got a little
Just
crazy.
Some
it
jerk
just
bumped into me.
sounds so unpleasant. Like, I just can't even imagine. Just, like, hot
Yeah.
trying to enjoy red
Yeah.
wine out of a plastic cup. I
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, those are
Thank
fun.
you. I
Those
didn't
were
really think that
fun
was gonna go
and
well.
helpful.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. If we're doing anything here, we are helping to inform the people of how to properly consume your wine. So I think we're doing good work here.
Avoid wine at your concerts. Try not to drink big, bold reds before noon.
Yeah.
And, Chardonnay, take your good stuff home from parties.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's it.
Great
What else do you need
advice.
to know?
Life advice.
Great
Any
advice.
other questions, you let us know. Reach out to us on Instagram. We'll discuss it for you and help to clarify. But no, that was good. Thank you guys for playing along. Love when we do that. I think, though, we should go ahead and learn about Little Beaujolais because I still have so many questions and there's a lot to learn, and I can't wait to drink this thing. So,
Yeah, like, why are
uh,
there so many vowels in this word?
there are. Yeah, Colin, can you shed some light, buddy?
I don't it's not on the list of things that I was gonna talk about, so,
All right.
that
Well, I'm
will
still
remain a
intrigued.
mystery.
I still want to know what you got for us.
This is the only thing you will learn.
Alright, so last week we did the 5 things you need to know about Burgundy, and today we are going to do the 5 things you need to know about Beaujolais, which if you were to just
Oh,
continue walking through Burgundy, south through Burgundy, you'd actually end up in Beaujolais. They're that close to each other.
We should do that. Let's
Oh,
do it.
man, I'd love to. Let's go. Uh,
Let's go on a Burgundy Beaujolais trip.
oh, man, you are speaking my language right now. The first thing you need to know, we'll get right into it. The first thing you need to know about Beaujolais is the main grape is Gamay, and Gamay makes up 98% of all the plantings in Beaujolais, which is pretty wild to think about an area so singularly focused on one grape. They do make some other types of wine. They make white wine as well, which is usually going to be Chardonnay, but Beaujolais is all about the Gamay. This is the second thing you need to know. Beaujolais' most famous product is Beaujolais Nouveau, which we mentioned a little bit before. This usually comes out the third Thursday of November every year, and it's a symbol to start the new wine year. So Beaujolais Nouveau is pretty interesting for a couple of reasons. One, it's made and then bottled and then immediately put on shelves. So there's almost no aging.
mm,
It's a young wine. It's meant to be drank young, fresh, also chilled. It's going to be light body. It's going to be super fruity. It's going to have some really interesting flavors. People say they taste bubblegum, banana. Aaron, we found your banana wine, Beaujolais Nouveau.
Finally. Let's
Yep.
go.
Yep, and then some strawberries and some red fruits, which find with Gamay just in general. And those flavors are imparted because the third thing you need to know about Beaujolais, some of the wines are made by a process called carbonic maceration. And I'm not going to get too into the weeds with carbonic maceration, but they basically put whole clusters of grape into a tank, remove all the oxygen by putting carbon dioxide in, and then the grapes themselves, they call it intercellular fermentation where the grapes start to ferment within themselves. So it's not like a traditional fermentation where you put juice or broken grapes in. They ferment within themselves and then eventually the juice kind of runs out naturally. And that
Hmm.
leads to some of those more intense bubblegum and banana flavors. So the fourth thing you need to know, not all wine coming out of Beaujolais and not all Gamay is going to taste like bubblegums and bananas. They actually make some rather serious versions of Gamay, and you can find most of those in the Beaujolais Cruise. So Beaujolais has a classification system much like the rest of France. And theirs is 3 tiers. You have the Beaujolais level wines, you have the Beaujolais-Village level, which is what we're drinking this evening, and then you have the Beaujolais Cruise. I'm not going to run through all of them, but some of them you might notice and want to look for are Margone, Fleury, and Moulin à Vent. And these can be incredibly complex, even closer to what you might think of Burgundy and Pinot Noir, as opposed to a lighter style or Beaujolais Nouveau style of Gamay.
Question for you on that. Does the Beaujolais Nouveau fit into that 3-tiered system somewhere, or is that kind of a separate thing?
So that would just be Beaujolais level.
That's just the Beaujolais level. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. It's one just based on quality. It's not a
Yeah.
very serious wine. They literally make it to throw these giant parties around
Yeah.
France
It's
to
not meant to be,
celebrate.
right? Yeah.
Right. No, it's literally meant as just like a party wine. You're just supposed to,
Yeah.
pop it and drink it. You're not supposed to think about it. I mean, some of them
Hmm.
taste like bubble gum, so it's
Yeah.
not a terribly serious drinker, but um,
Sure.
The
you
one
know,
we have today is the middle tier.
the middle
It's
tier.
the
That's right. The Village
delightful.
level. Yep. And then the last thing you need to know is a little bit about Gamay, which is, of course, the most celebrated grape there. It's almost always going to be light bodied. You're usually going to find high acidity, low tannin, especially in the carbonic maceration wines. They're usually all going to be relatively low, though, just because of the grape. You're going to find some raspberry, some strawberry, some black cherry, a little bit of blackberry in there. In the more complex versions, you can find some of those earthy mushroom notes, some smoky notes, and they do oak age some of these, but not all of them. So that is Gamay and the 5 things that you should know about Beaujolais.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Colin, because I didn't know that there's so much to Beaujolais. And my mind, obviously, clearly, as I've been asking questions about it, has always kind of gone to the Nouveau. So you've already kind of shown a light on the fact that no, there's a lot more to Beaujolais and a lot more to explore. So looking very forward to trying this one with you guys. What do you think? Should we go ahead and get into it?
Let's do it.
Tastes like wine.
So we've had our Jean-Claude Debeaune Beaujolais-Village open for a little bit. So guys, go ahead and get your noses in there and let me know what you're getting.
And I'm actually really excited listening to the learn section that this is like the middle ground, because now we have kind of like a starting point to say, okay, so this was $20. We either got to go up from here to get better or go down from here if we want to, I don't know, drink bubblegum wine. But yeah, I'm excited.
That actually sounds kind of fun. I wouldn't mind. Maybe in the fall we'll do a Beaujolais Nouveau and try
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Give me some banana wine.
I will
Yeah.
say it's not my style per se, but it
Yeah.
is
What?
a
Shocking.
very, very unique experience. So, I would absolutely try it if you haven't.
Love it. All right. Aaron, what are you getting?
Yeah, very light scent off the nose. Like I try to like pour again, sometimes after it sits out for a little bit. I'm struggling a little bit. Some light floral, maybe a little bit of, I don't know, we were kind of joking about like cranberry earlier, but I'm getting like that like light berry kind of scent to it.
I think that's totally fair. I'm definitely getting that too. Definitely, strawberry in there for sure. But
Yep.
honestly, I'm a little shocked at how much there's a leatheriness to it as well. Like I was expecting it to be just almost fully fruity, but there's definitely something else in there.
Yeah, you definitely get a
Colin?
lot of the red fruits for sure. I'm picking up a little bit of raspberry, definitely the strawberry. I think that's the one that you really get the most is the strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
I also get it reminds me of pencil shavings or like graphite. It's very metallic smelling, not necessarily
Interesting.
in a bad way, but
But
and
just
then
as like a component.
as yeah,
Mhm.
just as a component, but it is mostly just fruity. There's a little bit of other stuff on the back end, but it's definitely more fruit forward, which is what you would expect in a Beaujolais. It's definitely known for its big red fruit. But to Aaron's point, it's not terribly expressive. You really kind of have to get in there to pick stuff out.
I just want to
Sense.
make sure we're talking about this one, right? 2021.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
is yours super expressive?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's super expressive, but I am definitely getting more than just red fruit. I'm getting a lot of like I said earlier, that leather. I hesitate to say earthy because I don't think there's really an earthiness in there, but I think leather is the best way I can say it, but it's pretty prevalent to me as I'm smelling this one.
I don't know. I personally don't get any of that. I just really get the
Yeah.
red fruit and then that kind of metallic smell. So, I wonder that might taste change on the palate, who knows? But
Yeah.
that's really all I can pick out at the moment. Maybe my sniffer's off today, I don't know, but
No, no, no. Maybe I'm
I hate when your
crazy.
sniffer's off.
yeah, me too.
All right, well, let's give this thing a try.
That is an uncomfortable amount of acid. That is just like that hurts. The acid is so high.
I'm not offended by it.
I'm not either. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, really? It's like it's sour to me. Maybe my bottle of wine's not good, but it's like mouth-wateringly sour. It's the first thing I notice. It's really intense.
I mean, it's definitely acidic, but it's not overwhelmingly acidic to me.
I think one thing that I noticed about it, and maybe cause the direction you're going, for a red, there's no tannins. Just comparatively to a lot of reds, there's just that grippiness is just like not there. And so there's the balance, the acidity is maybe just not there as much. I don't know. I'm not getting like knocked over with the acidity like you are. And there's definitely like a uniqueness to the flavor.
Yeah, I would say you don't need tannin to have balanced acidity. The acidity can just be nice by itself, but what I'm getting in this wine is not that. So, anyway,
Huh,
we want to talk
that's
about
so
flavor.
funny. I love how much this is making us all think, and we're kind of having different experiences here. But yeah, what kind of flavor notes are you guys getting?
I mean, definitely like the fruit and cherry flavor is the big one for me, but not as like fruit forward as some other big reds that we've had. It's definitely
Yeah,
like a thinner
Yeah,
flavor.
it's gonna be a lighter red. That's kind of the style of the grape. You can find a little more intensity with some of those Cru Beaujolais, but you get a little bit of I think cranberry was a good call.
yeah.
I think you get quite a bit of that, a little bit of that strawberry, and then maybe just a tiny bit of raspberry, almost like sour raspberry, again, like
I'll
with the
give you
acid.
that. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. There's definitely. I don't want you to think I'm not with you on the fact that it's on the sourish side because it definitely is. But anybody getting a little bit of I get a little vanilla in there too, like a little bit. I didn't get it at all when we were smelling it, but on the palate, just a little bit of some vanilla peeking through there.
no, I just get fruit and then a little bit of that metallic.
Are we all drinking the same wine?
I'm really starting to wonder.
I wonder if my wine
This fun?
is bad because my cork broke trying to take it out. So I wonder if
Ah,
there was
Oh,
a
maybe the cork was messed up.
cork
yeah.
cork problem. Yeah,
Ooh, that's good
because
to know.
I'm not experiencing anything you guys are, or like my
Wow.
palate is just totally broken.
No,
I
it's
don't.
probably a cork situation.
God, if your palate's broken, we're screwed. I do have to say,
Hmm.
one thing I'm noticing about the flavor, and this could be neither here nor there, but it's really reminding me of the like cherry berry flavor when you have like a truly or a high noon, that kind of lighter, thinner, reminiscent of berry aspect. Sip it and then think about those kind of like seltzery berry flavored drinks.
Well, it's in general super light, like one of those. So I think, yeah, I see what you're getting at. But maybe that's a cool point too, though. If you are a truly drinker, a high noon drinker, wanting to try some wine that you might dig, this would probably be a good place to start for sure.
Especially if you're looking for a wine to sit outside on a hot day.
Hmm.
I just say from like the chilled aspect, like that
Yeah,
was kind of cool. It's obviously been out for a little bit, but when we first opened it up and we were drinking it chilled, I did have like that kind of like, ooh, this is like I like this. I like
yeah.
this, again, having a red that is I put it in the fridge last night. I kind of followed our like more white wine style, like 2020 rule where I took it out just a little bit, before I served it, and it was nice.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You hit the mark. I know you set out to find a red wine for a nice hot day while we're still in the dog days of summer here. So yeah, just want to remind everybody that is what we were looking to do as well. So okay. Any other notes? Anything else anybody wants to call out? Colin, I know you're having a situation over there potentially, but
I wish I had more to talk about, but I can't. I keep sipping it, and I just keep getting the same thing.
so at this point, unless anybody has another thing they want to call out, let's go ahead and roll into our review.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right. So, since this is your bottle of wine, Aaron, traditionally we will let you go last. So, Colin, you want to kick us off?
Sure. I have to review what I have. So, with that being said, it's not terribly interesting. It's just a couple of red fruits, and then I think the acid is way too much. It's a little bit sour. I don't think it's awful wine, so I'm not going to necessarily drain it, and maybe it just needs to be chilled. I don't know what's happening here, so I think to drain it would be unfair, and it's not terrible. I don't hate each sip I'm taking. So, for that reason, I think I'm going to put it in the closet. I definitely wouldn't go out and buy this again, although I might go buy it just to see if maybe this bottle I got was bad. But
I think you
uh,
should. Yeah.
yeah, maybe maybe I need to. I don't know. But what I'm drinking right now is a closet wine for sure.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I kind of think you should, Colin, because yeah, it's a high acid wine, but I'm not finding anything offensive about it or even hugely outlying about this. Like it's higher on the acid spectrum, but to me it's really pretty pleasant. And from a again going back to the whole point of what Aaron was trying to find, which is a nice hot day red wine. I think that this is hitting the mark pretty well, to be honest with you. So again, one of my first forays into Beaujolais, but I quite enjoyed it. So I am going to be putting this, on the kitchen table. It's not in a prominent space, but it's on there. It's on there, and yeah, enjoyed it. Aaron,
Yeah,
how
I
about
wouldn't. Real quick, I wouldn't want to drink this outside because the acid is so off that I'm thirsty. I'm legitimately thirsty
wow?
after taking a sip of this. Like that's how it's interacting with my palate. This to me is not an outdoor wine because I feel like you need to chase it with a glass of water or something.
I'm a little blown away by this because I'm the experience I'm having is like this is crisp. This is it's bright and
Yeah.
it yeah. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm so curious because I'm kind of struggling because I'm in a very similar place to when we reviewed the orange wine or reviewed the Georgian wines. The Gamay is a new adventure for me, right? So like part of my brain is like, this isn't exactly what I look for in wine. So part of my brain's like, I don't hate this, but it's a closet wine to me. If someone brought it over, I would drink it. Would I go out and buy it again? I don't know. On the other side of my brain is like, as far as a chilled red goes, this could be a good example of something that you might want to have out at like bring with you in a picnic and pour after it's been sitting on ice for a bit. So I'm kind of stuck in this middle, and I know we've talked about like new year, new us, if we need to kind of tweak or revamp our rating system a little bit to account for wines that kind of land between backup wine and like putting out prominently for folks. So I'm going to say like on the table towards the closet, like this might be an example of like a chilled red wine that I want to drink again, but I don't know. Like I don't know where it lies in the realm of chilled reds. I want to try more. I am chilled
That's
red
fair.
curious at this point and willing to test the waters a little more.
And
Fair.
I've had some really good Beaujolais before. So don't get me wrong, like I enjoy Beaujolais quite a bit, but this one just I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know if it's me or the wine, but it's just not hitting like some of the ones I've had in the
Mm,
past.
That's fair.
fair. Yeah.
I have no mark to go off of.
I think, let me ask you this though, too, because I think there was a part of you, Aaron, that wanted this to be a certified porch pounder. Do you think that you hit it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I want it to be. I wanna say I can grab this, and again, maybe if I had it on ice, and again, we've been drinking it for a little bit, and I don't dislike it, and maybe if I kept it in an ice bucket, like champagne style, and had it out with me, and be a little bit different, but right now, I'm not feeling that vibe. I don't think I nailed it.
I tend to agree. I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it more than you guys might
Yeah,
be, but I agree
definitely.
with you. Yeah, not quite a CP. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it more than you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it, like, I think it's good, like, definitely not a waste of your wine, right, at $20, if you wanna try a I mean, but
Ooh, we might need to
but
talk
you
about
said
this
you said
one.
you wouldn't drain it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's not a waste.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Well, here we go.
Make
Sometimes, folks,
make
as
your
we
case.
know
Ooh, we
here,
haven't we haven't been,
yeah,
contentious here in a while.
sometimes it's so
Yeah.
clear we don't even get into it, but sometimes there's a little discussion that needs to be had. So I think we need to open this up. Colin, am I sensing that you think this might be a waste?
Yeah, so, again, and I'll just say my wine because I don't know what you guys are experiencing, but my wine is totally a waste. I've had much better Beaujolais for $20. I would
Okay.
not buy this again. I put it in the closet because it's not total garbage, but there's 100% better Beaujolais out there because 'cause I've had them. So at $20, this is a waste.
Okay.
It
Aaron?
sounds like that's a challenge that you're gonna come back with a
Yeah.
better $20 Beaujolais, just like, Joel's can come back with a better,
Yeah, we're gonna do that soon.
Pinotage.
what
I don't know if they make
Pinotage.
it for
Pinotage.
Pinotage. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is you have to spend like it so quickly gets expensive for good Pinotage. So let me do
Mm,
some investigating.
But, alright, so I mean, Collins is a waste. I don't have the comparison point to say it's a waste. I'm gonna say not a waste at this point, but if we try another one in the future and it's like, "Oh, shit, like, this is different," I will happily, go back and alter my opinion. Joel?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's pretty clear. I don't think it's a waste. I don't think it's a waste at all. I think it's, it's fine. It's a fine situation over here, not a waste of your wine.
Colin might have a corked
So,
wine, let's be real.
yeah, I really want you to
Colin
come
might
over
be drinking
tomorrow,
straight
Colin.
vinegar over there. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, can you come over? I'm
uh,
gonna save some of this for you, man. Come over and try it.
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. No, that's a great idea. I'll swing by after work.
Yeah, and then
Can
we'll
I
let
come
the
over?
people
If you're
know.
home.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on over,
for sure.
buddy.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
we'll let the
Yeah.
people know what you think.
Uh-uh.
Okay, awesome. Well, there you have it. This was a fun one. I kind of like when there's a little bit to talk about, but it's not totally clear. So,
Sure.
what I think that does too is invites you, the listener, to please tell us what you think. If you've tried this, or just let us know what you think about Beaujolais in general, where they lie in your wine preference, and if there's anything that we should check out too, since we kind of just scratched the surface and clearly need to dig in a little bit more. So, let us know some of your favorites. We'll check them out here on Stop Wasting Your Wine. But by vote, the Jean-Claude Debeaune
Van Dam.
Beaujolais
The whole
Village.
episode.
That wine would kick ass.
You've been waiting the whole time. We're going to say not a waste of your wine. Not a waste of your wine. So there you
Two,
have
two to
it.
one.
2-1 by 2-1 vote. Colin, do you want to do the honors today of letting the folks know how they
Ooh,
can hang out with us?
sure. I'd love to. Yeah, check us out on Instagram. Aaron's over there posting all the time, and he's doing a great job. So interact with us there. Check us out on our website, which Joel still hasn't updated, stopwastingyourwine.com. We
Yes. Accurate.
we
I
are
have nothing
all
to say. You are correct.
yeah. Also, check us out on YouTube. Stop wasting your wine at YouTube, and that's really the best three best places to check us out.
No, just I want to name there's an interesting aspect. Our shows are now audio and video, and a lot of folks don't know that if you click on Spotify and you actually click on the episode, you can watch the video of our show on Spotify. And of course, we're on YouTube. And if you haven't yet, at the very least, go back and watch last week's episode because our
Yeah.
production value is through the roof.
So
And it's
fun.
really
Very
great. We're going to be posting clips. Just going to continue to post clips from that episode just because they are so hot. We're just going to keep posting them. So,
Love
check
it.
us out there. Check us on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify.
Excellent.
very cool.
Love it. And I would just say thanks so much for listening, y'all. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Looking forward to doing it again next week. And that'll do it for another episode of Stop Wasting Your Wine.
Hey, bye, y'all.
And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye.